All right, so we are live on YouTube.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, everybody. Sorry, on Tuesday, February 22nd, 2022. To open up the meeting, if I could get somebody to first and second the meeting to approve the agenda of February 22nd. So could I get a mover?
I'll move it.
Okay, Jim, whoops. And a seconder, Melissa. Okay, so first by Jim, second by Melissa, that the committee approve the agenda of February 22nd, 2022 as circulated. Everybody in agreement?
Look at everybody.
Okay. And if I could get a first and a seconder to approve the minutes of January 25th, 2022 as circulated. If I could get a mover.
I have a question first.
Okay, Maggie.
I have two sets of minutes. Which ones are we approving?
Ones that are attached to the agenda.
Oh, if there's mistakes on it, what do we do?
What kind of mistakes?
Omissions or
And omissions.
omissions and mistakes, yeah.
Could you be more specific?
Attached to.
I can do them in order if you want. The CD Saturday, we had agreed on a speaker on the 17th. And I believe that Val has already gotten a speaker. And we'd also agreed on having a children's table at that event. And some of the work has been done for that. There was no cost in these things to the council. But I know you were going to work on advertising. And those things should also be on the advertising as well as just the date.
So by the
also-
procedural bylaw, the
Sorry?
minutes shall record procedurally by the procedural bylaw, item 25, minutes. Minutes shall record the date, the place, the time, and the time of the meeting, the members of the proceeding officers and the attendance of the members, the reading, if requested, corrected, and adoption of the minutes of prior meetings, all other proceedings of the meeting without note or comment. So the minutes are done up according to the procedural bylaw. So any of our other notes in that are perfectly fine to have, but for the minutes, they are without note and comment. So we are approving the direction that we discuss, which is based off of Val's notes that she takes. So procedurally, the minutes are done up.
Karen. Oh, you're muted.
Getting there.
Okay.
But if they've got something that's committed, should that still not be noted in the section of the minutes? That it was approved by the committee that such and such was going to take place on a specific date?
Well, we have the date in there that it was taking place on the 20th.
Okay.
But we don't have the date of the speaker on the 17th.
Yeah.
So there was conflicting. You've already decided in the previous part of the minutes that you were canceling February and March and moving forward with April.
Right.
That was the
But then
discussion.
CD Saturday, since it could possibly be an outside event, and we didn't have to worry about any rules of COVID, it was decided that we were going to have, Val was going to arrange a speaker for that evening. And if we couldn't do it in the hall on Thursday, we were going to do it on Saturday during the Sunday.
And that's fine to do. That it goes in line with what you've already decided to take place for your CD Sunday event. It doesn't need to be in the minutes. They're without note and comment.
I think if I can say something, I think I did read your comments there today, I think, Jeffrey. And when I read your comments, I thought it was exactly the way it's supposed to be. So that's the way it is from our council meetings. But Anyways, I thought that you were kind of clearing things up there, Jeff.
Yeah, exactly. I was trying to, but I also want to make sure we catch everything too as well. I mean, it's important to have this conversation if anything was missed. But at the same token, it's like Val's notes are really the most important part of the meeting. What part of the other part that's kind of submitted to council and the notes from the meeting, because I mean, I think I said that too as well. Sometimes in our council meetings, we could have an hour-long discussion and there's like one line about the decision and the vote, and that's kind of like the minutes that are there and like what the outcome was. But the notes are really where and even the discussion is where the true information, the true importance is there. So I mean, I think a lot of the times, like it's almost like this is like the procedural part, and this is what my point of view is that this is the procedural part of it. Of the minutes that sort of like follow like the rules, and Val's notes is the tool that we use. I mean, I know I use it because I read it. It gives me everything, exactly what we're trying to accomplish and do. Anyways, if that's okay, I mean, it's if anything's missing, I 100%. But like Val's notes are like what we're doing. I think, anyways, is that hopefully makes sense. But if there's anything missing, I think too as well, or if there's something that you have a question about, I mean, I know Christy is more than willing. I'm not trying to speak for Christy, but more than willing to go along with that. I think we're all learning too as well in this sort of category or this area too as well. So, but I can't reiterate because Val's notes are like gold from these meetings because it's like everything to reference back to. And please, Christy,
Christy?
To be clear, Val's notes are saved within the rec committee folders. They are saved as notes for these meetings, so they go back all the way back. So it's not like these are being deleted and not being referred to. It's procedurally, this is the book that tells me what I'm supposed to be doing and how I'm preparing it. So
Bible.
The boring book.
well, it's got about 26 or so policies in here that I refer to on a daily basis. So
Val.
I guess what we're trying to establish is there was an element of the notes missing from Christie's notes or from Christie's minutes. And that element was simply the booking of a speaker for the Thursday night information night, because I was definitely under the impression when we left the meeting that March information night was a go. So I just proceeded accordingly. And when I read Christie's notes, when I read Christie's minutes yesterday, I was really taken aback because I thought, well, now what happens? This was in preparation for the CD Sunday, which we thought it would all work together. And the fact that, you know, we didn't elaborate on the information night. So there was a sense of confusion on my part of it. So.
Christy?
and that could be brought up in business arising from the minutes.
Yeah.
Is that if you read your minutes, it states in there that we are canceling it, and then it also states there that we're doing it. So it's business arising from the minutes, and this, we could have talked about it before, but you can bring it back up though. It's business arising from the minutes, confirming we're still proceeding with the information night on March 17th.
Okay. Maggie?
So should we be sending these into you as minutes? Or should we be doing Reader's Digest version? Or do we not do minutes at all?
What you're doing is absolutely fine.
I agree.
I've always called it. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Right.
Go ahead, Val.
I've never really called them minutes. I've called them record of discussion because I'm not a minute taker. I'm more of a discussion taker. So.
And that's where I come in, where I put them into minute format.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
We're clear?
So if we approve this, then we can bring up for the business arising, and we can see if we add or we can miss stuff, right? So it's and that's awesome.
Bill?
Yeah, yeah, Jeff just hit the nail on the head there, because when you bring up a motion to approve the minutes, that all you're doing is approving the minutes, but and you're looking at the errors and omissions. And like, for instance, if there is an error, then all someone has to say, oh, by the way, that should say, or can we, to Christie, can we add this? Can we change that? So like, if it needs to be changed, like if it's a mistake, but all you're doing is approving the minutes. And there's times in the council meetings that we will take, a half a minute to approve the minutes, and then we'll take half an hour discussing business arising from the minutes, which is exactly what Jeff's saying, which is exactly what the business arising from the minutes is probably even more important than approving the minutes to me. And there's times that we'll take half an hour to discuss the business arising from those minutes, which is when all the questions can come up about what's confusing, what's not confusing, and whatever. But anyways, just to help a little bit.
Aaron?
No, sorry, it'll be business arising is when I'll have to address something.
Oh,
No, I want to address something during business arising.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. I'll try to remember that.
I do have to interrupt. I have
Okay.
Ian entering. I have Ian waiting to enter.
Oh,
Okay, so give me 2 seconds then. Just the one thing is that it was staff recommended that the MRCC draft a letter with their final choice of topics for information nights and send it to the clerk to add to the agenda as information. But some of it needs to be action items, right? That way council doesn't have to bring it forward to action when it's something to do with the Recreation Committee.
Mhm.
That's the only thing. Okay,
thank you.
Perfect.
So once we have Ian fully added on, I'll get a firster and a seconder. Hey, Ian.
Hello, everyone. My apologies.
All good, that's all good. Okay, so if I could get a firster and a seconder, please, to approve the minutes, and then we can carry on. So if I can get a firster, then I'll jump out once. Okay, Katie. And if I could get a seconder, please. Okay, Jessica. Okay, so first by Katie, second by Jessica, that the committee approved the minutes of January 25th, 2022 as circulated. All in agreement? Show of hands. Okay, carried. So that brings us to C, disclosure of interest. Did anybody
I
have?
believe we're going to do business arising.
Oh, did I get the wrong sheet then?
No, we're adding business arising from the minutes.
Okay, so business arising. Okay, Maggie?
So can we add the speaker on the 17th of March for the CD Sunday event?
Okay. Did anybody have anything to respond with that?
Oh, that's fine.
So from there, we just have to agree, Christy?
Yep.
Okay, so if we can have everybody in agreement then, and then we can get that marked down. Okay, and the name? Did we have a name?
Speaker's name, Klaus Vandermeer.
Nice, okay. Do I need to have anything? Because we've already approved that before, right, Christy? So I don't need another sheet for that, right?
You just have consensus for it.
Okay, which I got. Okay. So do I need consensus for Claus himself?
No.
No, okay, just double checking. Okay, was there any other business that has arisen? No? Okay. So then we can move to disclosure of interest. Did anybody have anything to bring? No? All right. So business from previous meeting, starting off with Rosedale Hall programs and updates. Maggie?
There is a letter going to council for the April, May, and June meetings, assuming everything stays open after March 1st. Do you want to know what they are or just wait for the letter?
We could probably review them and that way they're in the,
Okay, the April
notes.
meeting was for the building superintendent to speak on the process of, of permits and how the process to get permits and what you need a permit for. We are not interfering with the council's thing of land severances and all that stuff, but I know council's going to talk about, this is going to strictly be for people that are thinking of planning to build something, a deck, a pool, whatever, and what they need to do before they go in and how to do what they do. The May 1st one was going to be fire safety and first aid, dealing more with pools, pit fires, and everything else that occurs over the summertime. And the June one, we're going to do the OPP, neighborhood safety, internet scams, and trail safety. Trail safety is becoming a big thing because now the trail has been opened up from Montague, not Smith Falls, Montague, to I think Petawawa now it's open. So if they could talk about how to keep safe on those trails because they're not lit. Cell phones reception is not very good on them, and just what to keep you safe on the trails. So those are the three that we're going to ask council to do for those 3 months.
anybody have anything you'd like to add to that? Okay, Jeff?
Did you have some speaker ideas at all, Maggie, or the?
Well, the first one, the building superintendent, obviously the Montague one would be the most obvious. Fire safety, I thought we could get Miles. If you want to do a first aid, I'm sure Miles knows someone that could give some first aid information, whatever people want to get. I don't know if that would deal with payment besides the regular, like would it be in time lieu off or something, or I don't know how that works, but that could be up to council. And the OPP one, we had a great speaker at the rural thing, and he dealt mainly with trails because he was the one that organized as a trail safety. He might be a good one. Like his name was on my minutes from that meeting. And again, I don't know what kind of cost he incurs or what they do.
Could I ask, would the police services board have any input or be able to, or the one of the lieutenants that's on that, would they be able to support that? I know Bill's on the police services board. I don't know if they can support that or not, but.
Bill?
I think that if you asked Corona, the superintendent, he would be more than happy to be part of that. And if you go through our police service board chair, Ross McMurtry, who lives in Montague Township, he's the chair now. I would go through him and ask if he would, if he or Corona would supply somebody for that. But I'd go through the chair of the police services board first.
The part of our letter is who contacts these people. We think it should be staff, because they can answer the questions that we might not be able to. And that will be in the letter. But that'll be up to council if you want us to do it or you want staff to do it or.
Christy?
I did confirm with Jasmine that it was to be staff.
Oh,
Thank
okay,
you.
staff. Staff.
So we'll just give the recommendations, and if you approve them, then staff can contact whoever they have to contact. And we will be
the police service board, a few years ago, the police service board did host a similar workshop over at the seniors hall.
Yeah.
And it was very successful. So it's a great thing.
And we would be definitely available to attend, however many you need of us to open the hall, close the hall. If we still have to do the immune things, to set up some kind of refreshments.
Anybody have anything else they'd like to add?
Sorry for interrupting again, but just again to help everybody here and help Christy, that when you were talking about the doing an information night on trails and trail safety and so on, again, like it's just a suggestion, maybe through you, Christy, that if you go to the county trails committee could actually possibly also supply a speaker or speakers to do with trail safety. There's lots of contacts for trail safety through the county. So anyways, just a suggestion.
Good one. Thank you, Bill. So do we have to give you any other direction, Christy, for that?
You
Ian's
need
got
to
his
move
hand up.
and second it.
Okay, so I need a mover and a seconder if I could for.
Randy, Ian's got his hand up.
Oh,
Ian's
sorry,
got his hand.
Ian, sorry,
I'll second it.
sorry, Ian. Oh,
Yeah, firstly, thanks a lot, Brandy. I guess here I have as far as who's supposed to contact people, like I think that there has to be a little bit more onus on the committee itself to reach out to touch base with some of these people that are going to be doing these some of these information nights. I don't think that we want to necessarily put that on staff 100% totally. I think that there's more than enough people here that are capable to call the township and touch base with Fire Chief Greer and our building official, and to get in touch with the person that does community safety or whoever might be at the OPP. The staff are extremely busy. We're shorthanded, and I think that there's some of these things that we can definitely delegate to people that are on the committee. That's for sure. I think there's everybody that's sitting here right now is more than capable of reaching out and touching base with someone. The other thing, I guess, is for these days, if we're going to lock these in stone, if we can kind of ear tag those right now for the hall booking, just to make sure that nothing else happens, and we'll be in good shape, and we can kind of lock those dates in so we don't have any issues.
I have them in the calendar already.
Perfect. Thank you very much. So if we do that, that'd be great. But other than that, they're great initiatives, and let's see what we can do about getting them going. And hopefully we don't have another wave of COVID that slows our great momentum.
yay. Thanks, Ian. All right, so Jim, you were gonna first it.
Yes.
Okay, and if I could get a seconder, please. Maggie? Alrighty, so firsted by Jim, second by Maggie, that the MRCC received the Rosedale Hall programs update and information, all carried? Or all in agreement? Okay. So I have the one here as well for the CD Saturday. So I guess that's our next one. So update on the CD Saturday, Val, please.
Okay, I went ahead and I booked Klaus to be our speaker, and he very enthusiastically agreed. It's from 7 to 8 p.m. on Thursday, March 17th. He is planning on bringing his materials that he needs. We are going to have a short talk from him, and then we'll open the floor for questions. I've encouraged him to talk about gardening 101 for a lot of beginners. We are going to encourage him to talk about perennials, annuals, workshops, etc. And the major goal is to just get outside, participate, learn, and enjoy. And light refreshments would be offered, I should think. And that's the talk. The CD Sunday, rain date, April 3rd. I have to get together with Christy to find out what kind of advertising. But I would like to do it more than just on the social media, because a lot of people out there don't have access to social media, or don't want access to social media. So was hoping that maybe we could do up a flyer, and I don't mind taking flyers around and posting them, garden market, etc. I've contacted Gemmels, and unfortunately they declined as being a speaker as well at our information night, but they are enthusiastic about supplying some gardening paraphernalia. And I'm planning on putting together a gift basket for a free draw, simply just for the participants that come out to CD Sunday, and encouraging them to bring seeds, take some seeds, exchange seeds, talk about seeds and gardening, and it'll just be a couple of hours, and have fun while we're doing it. And hopefully it'll be outside.
Christy.
Any questions?
So I went ahead. I enjoyed your flyer from last year, only I updated it with logos and other information, but I've since created a flyer for that.
Good. Yeah.
I have no problem printing them if we want to post them, like you said, around garden market or that, but we'll also include it in the e-newsletter that goes out to those who don't have social media but do receive and sign up for our email notifications. So we can do it that way as well. Your only other option would be running an ad in the paper. So if you wanted to do that, but then that would be, we'd have to figure out how much that would cost.
Yeah, I just wondered if anyone knows when the other CD Sunday events are this year locally, because if they're after hours, then, if they're before hours, then that's a perfect place to be advertising or dropping off flyers. I know there's CD Sundays in Perth and other towns, but as I said, if they're before hours, then you'd be looking at a targeted group of people.
Val?
I'm on it, Bill.
I figured you probably were, Val.
We love it, Val. We love it. Okay. So did anybody else have anything that they would like to add to that part? Maggie?
I would still like to proceed with the children's table too, where the kids get to pick a seed, tomato plant, whatever they want,
Yes.
to give away free to the kids. They take it home, they plant it, and they grow something.
Yeah,
we
thank
can
you,
get
Maggie.
those-
I forgot that. Yeah.
We can get those little things. I've got some, and I'll pick up some more. Bag of dirt, throw a seed in it, and take it home with you.
Yay. Okay, I think that's awesome.
That might have to be added. to
Let's
the
do one
advertising
too.
That last year.
What's that?
I think that'll have to be added to the flyer, because I
Okay.
don't think we did that last year.
Okay. Can adults make one too? I'd like to make one. Just saying, nice beef steak tomato. Okay, so that's a great Val.
Yeah, just one last thing. If maybe Christy could send everybody a flyer and see if it's ready to go, or if anybody wants to make some additions or deletions before it goes out. But just to go back to Bill's question, I have checked around, Bill, to see if there are other CDs going on. And apparently not many people are going to be doing it this year, probably because of COVID. But I will definitely pursue that. But if Christy could get the flyers out to us, that would be really helpful. And then we can sort of proofread it and make sure that it's all together and go from there.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay, so I guess we can get a firster and a seconder if I could to get this moving. Anyone? Okay, Katie firsting. And a seconder. No. Okay, Melissa. Was a draw there actually, but I got Melissa first. Sorry, Jess. Okay, so moved by Katie, second by Melissa, that the MRCC received the update on CD Sunday event from March 20th, 2022 for information. And then everybody is in agreement with what we discussed. Okay. Okay, next would be the update on the Easter event, and I believe Jessica has this one.
Okay, so I contacted a few petting farms. Just gotta find my stuff here. And the only one I was able to get in contact with was Countryside Petting Farm. They're in Beckwith, I believe. They are available at on the date and time that we have asked for. Sorry, I should have written actual notes. They charge $600 plus HST. And they can also bring ponies for pony rides, where they charge $5 a ride if people want to do that. And they would also bring food for sale for people to feed the animals. Maggie and I thought that 600 might be a little much, but that seems to be the going amount. And when I inquired to Ken from Countryside, he said it's mostly because of the amount of work to set it up and transport. So I understand that. He also mentioned they would bring sheep, lambs, goats, and kids if they're old enough to travel, rabbits, a llama, and donkeys. The pen is 20 feet by 24 feet. And they would like an area around 60 by 60 to make a good lap with the ponies, if that's what we decide to do. And they'd be there for setup and do the full time that we asked for. Anybody have any thoughts on that?
Chrissy's got her hand up.
At the council meeting on the 15th, council was not available for the day. They said they would be available April 9th in order to do the breakfast. They want to do it the weekend before Easter.
Before, okay, Jeff.
There's a couple council members that weren't available. And I don't know, and I also asked my expert, which is my wife, asking her what she thought too as well about the dates and the week before. And I don't know if it works for everybody else, but I know the week before was one of those. We might get a better hit or a better availability. Now I don't know is if the farm are they available on that day or not, Jessica, or if people feel that way. But to get council involved a little bit more, because the council wants to be there and help and come out of the council budget too as well, and go from there. But Jessica, are people interested in that? And B, Jessica, is that an option?
I'd have to contact the petting farm. I don't know. I kind of was hoping for Easter weekend, but just because it is, an Easter celebration, we want to do, it's not just about the breakfast, it's about the egg hunt and all that stuff too. But I'm kind of indifferent, so I'll go with whatever the rest of the committee wants to go with.
Maggie?
I would like it Easter weekend too, but I would also like the council to be part of it. And to do that, if we have to change it to the week before, we can call it a pre-Easter event.
Yep.
and have it the Saturday before that.
A Zoom meeting right now. I can't talk.
Agreed. Katie?
We might also, like, as much as we all want it to be on Easter weekend, it might actually benefit us to have it the weekend before with, you know, with COVID restrictions being lifted and stuff. Families might be actually pretty busy that weekend, actually seeing family for once.
Yeah.
So being the 9th might actually be beneficial to us.
Okay.
I'm kind of in the same agreement. You know, with everything being shut down for so long, like I know Easter weekend for myself include like, and I know many families are probably the same. We're all going to be visiting our family and having that turkey dinner that we've so longed for so long, and getting some church in there, hopefully over and above. So I think the 9th, as much as I love the Easter weekend, I think we will get more draw if it is the weekend before. We just have to have everybody in agreement. And I would like the council to be there. That's the whole point too, you know, joining it, right? Did anybody else have anything?
Maybe you can contact the animal place and see if they're available on the 9th.
Yep.
Does that
I'll send them an email.
include the ponies?
Pardon?
Does that 600 include the ponies?
Well, I think because they're already coming, they're willing to bring them in addition. So they wouldn't charge extra. It's just they charge the people $5 a ride. Otherwise, if we weren't doing the petting farm and we just wanted to do ponies, it would be $250 plus tax.
So if we didn't do the petting farm, it's $250 just for the horses.
Yeah.
I
So we
always
more or
feel
less,
sorry for those ponies.
what's that?
I always feel sorry for those ponies doing a little circle.
Katie?
I'm just a
rather
little
pet lamb.
concerned. Oh, sorry. I'm just a little bit concerned with space. Unfortunately, our hall doesn't have a ton of green space or parking. How much space for the petting zoo and the pony rides would they need?
Well, he said the petting zoo the pen is 20 by 24. So I was thinking that the big grassy area beside the play structure, there's quite a bit of space there.
I just want to make sure we're not taking a lot.
We don't
of our
have to do
parking.
the ponies. We
Yeah.
can just do
No,
a
I'm
petting
good with
farm.
it as long as there's space.
Yeah. I mean, around here, most kids get to ride a horse, you know? So, I mean, to me, it was more about the petting farm, the llama and the donkey and the ducks and rabbits and stuff.
Yeah, me too.
Me too.
But if they're gonna bring them
Ian?
anyways, at that point, right, I guess so. That's right.
Sorry, Jeff. Ian?
Yeah, thank you, Brandy. I'm pretty sure there's enough room in the very front to set up they must have a tent, Jessica, you know, that goes over the petting zoo.
I believe most of them put a tent over these days for shade.
The grassy area that's directly in front of the hall would probably be large enough to put the tent up, and then you can use the other portion possibly
Where the picnic tables are when you did the dinner. Okay.
And I love the idea of the petting zoo and the ponies and everything else like that. That's what we're here for, is get the community out, get the kids out and all that great stuff. So when you're asking them, can you just ask to see how much it is to include the pony rides for free, so people don't have to pay? And maybe when they come in, they can get a ticket. You know what I mean? We could offer them a ticket so they can get a pony ride. Because
That's
as
a
much,
good idea.
as much as we think that $5 isn't a lot, for some people it is. And
Yeah. Especially if they have 3 or 4 kids.
exactly, it's a community event, and that's what we want to promote, is community development and growth and inclusion. So
we want to cover the cost basically of the rides.
I would be interested in knowing what that cost
Okay.
might. I'm not going to say you know, somebody could spend a number of $2,500 or something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Know what that cost might be.
Okay.
Just explain to them that, you know, there's some families out there that won't be able to afford, and we don't want to see any child, you know, not have that opportunity
Yep.
to experience that ride. First Maggie and then Bill.
We were discussing what we were going to give away for the Easter egg hunt. Could we give away a ticket to the pony ride?
think as a kid, I'd rather have candy.
Sorry to interrupt, but
Okay.
Christy has her hand up there too. Sorry, Christy.
That's okay. So we do need to remember that we need to keep everything above board. We have, procurement policies and all this. So when you're getting your quotes and stuff like that, you need to provide them in writing to the municipality. So you can either send them to me and I can give them to Andrew. That same goes for anything that you're doing. You should be trying to get 3 quotes for something.
I was only able to get there was only
and that's okay. You can put
Yeah.
down the name that you tried to contact
Okay.
and say no quote received. But you
Okay.
should at least for anything that we're trying to do, we need to show that it's not favoritism in the
Yep.
sense of, because the municipality cannot we cannot choose somebody and look like we're playing favoritism towards them, right?
Yep.
So same
Okay.
thing when we get to the photographer part. I know it was brought up before, but having a photographer maybe do an Easter setup. Again, it would have to be 3 names, that we're looking at, and if whatever you get. So just to keep it above, that we're not playing favoritism.
Okay.
You can send it to myself or you can send it directly to Andrew at the treasurer email, but he'll know what it is when it comes in.
Okay. I'll email you later asking about like format and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so Bill, you have your hand up
And
as
then
well.
Maggie and I were talking about, just trying to find my notes on my laptop. Other things, so like a budget. So the petting farm was 600 plus HST. We were thinking about $20 for craft supplies to add on to whatever we have left over for Christmas. A few decorations, about $20. Treat bags, we were looking at like $50 to $75. And then we were thinking maybe an Easter bunny costume because we asked around and there is no longer one. It's 130 plus HST
For the whole suit?
for the suit on Amazon.
Okay.
And that was one of the cheaper ones.
And that's one that the committee or whoever, is around, it stays at the hall?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's like up to you guys if you want to do that.
Okay, Jim? Oh, you're muted, honey. Bottom of the screen, I think.
Is that it?
There you go.
Yep.
Oh, I was just gonna say, Jessica was saying that was one of the cheaper ones to buy the bunny suit. And when you're saying cheaper, is there like 2 or 3 prices of different ones?
Oh,
Or
there were,
sometimes the cheaper
I don't
one, you can
remember
get a better
exactly,
one.
but I know
Okay.
it was one of the Amazon, it was marked as one of their best sellers.
Okay.
Some of the other ones were quite a bit more, like $200-300 and not as nice looking.
Okay,
I can
that's
send you
fine. I
guys
just
a
was-
link through
Yeah,
an
no,
email
that's
if you
fine.
want.
I just, sometimes $50 more and you get something.
No,
that's gonna
no,
last
no,
5
it
years,
wasn't,
that's all.
it wasn't like that.
Okay,
No,
no,
it
that's
was one
good
of
then.
the nicer looking ones at a decent price.
And
Perfect.
as long as it's big
Perfect.
enough
Thanks,
for
Jessica.
any of us. Okay, Bill, you had your hand up.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that if you go ahead and get horses, you might want to just be aware that there are horses, as you know, right behind the hall.
Yeah.
And sometimes there's quite a few, I'm not sure if the next door neighbors on the north side of the hall has cows, but if so, at that time, there's quite a few, sometimes little calves and stuff right in the barnyard, like right beside the fence. I'm only mentioning that whenever if you're going to have horses especially, you might want to be aware of where you situate the horses, because sometimes neighboring horses kind of kick up a little bit of a fuss.
Yeah.
I'm friends with her and I can just mention it that we're gonna have that and she can maybe just put them in the barn for the day.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Maggie?
Could we also think about using the area over the new septic? Would that do any damage there or anything?
As long as
keeps it
it's
a little
weight classified, that you're not overweight.
I'd rather see something there than in the front of the hall.
It's quite a bump though, is it not?
Yeah,
That earth is probably still fairly flat. And you're gonna have horse hooves going into the ground. And the grass seed hasn't had a chance to take root yet, so.
yeah, true.
Lots to keep away from that area, Katie.
I think personally what Jess was saying, the space to the left of the play structure, so we're pulling families away from the parking lot, is a much better idea than having families crowd in the parking lot where cars are driving and all that craziness.
Yeah, true.
If we
And
have
then that'd be more startling to the animals too if there's cars parking right there
Right.
constantly.
And if we have to, maybe we could borrow some really nice orange fencing. I'm sure there's somewhere in the township that might have some that we could just kind of line. I like Christy's smile. We could line, the line to keep the kids away from the road. I'm sure we could get that orange fencing somewhere just as like a barrier, to keep it kind of down there and away from the parking lot. There's been a lot of accidents lately and we want to make sure we cover all our bases.
Yes. Yes, agreed.
Yep.
Okay, so is everybody, May?
I know there was talk about the fencing over there. Is that fencing, has it got a scheduled date yet? They were gonna put fencing in front of, I think, in front of the play structure.
I see Christy shaking her head, not yet.
I believe that would probably be a budgeted item.
It's in the budget discussion right now. Yeah, I think it's in the budget discussions.
And if the
yeah.
ground
Oh,
isn't
okay.
thawed by then either, it might not be good to be putting a fence in.
That's fine.
Yeah, it's definitely not before that.
Okay, so Maggie?
The only other suggestion I'm going to make is if we are gonna get this bunny costume, the request for that should be put in before, like these minutes aren't gonna be put to council before February, March, almost, yeah, the end of March. Amazon's been really slow lately. I don't think we should wait 2 weeks before, not even that, 9 days before the event to order a costume.
We have Prime.
The one that I picked was Prime.
I'm on Prime. I'm still waiting for something that's coming from Toronto. And it's been 6 days now.
Ouch.
They're
Jeff?
not guaranteeing overnights or 2-day delivery or any of those things anymore. It might clear up shortly, I don't know. Especially if they have to go through Ottawa. But if we're gonna do that, I would suggest that we put the requisition in before to get it.
Christy?
I think you should just continue what you're doing, and once you establish things that you would like, you put them in a letter, they become action items for council.
Right.
And they can be done at any time before council meeting. So, next one's March 1st, March 15th,
Okay.
April, something before it would but it'd be cutting it close there. But you've got 2 meetings to decide. Or
So as
2
soon as
council
we know-
meetings to decide.
So we can put something in as soon as we know the date can be changed as far as petting zoo goes. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and all approval does have to come back through, to Andrew as the acting clerk. So
Okay, cool.
he's your signing authority.
Can we kind of get an agreement right now though, like tonight, just on these bunny suit? Because I think it's a great idea. Like our other suits that we have, it'd be nice to maybe add that so that as we go forward, or whoever, is in a committee when the new council starts, that we can, hopefully they can, keep adding and growing. Jeff, you had your hand up kind of.
Yeah, Jessica, how much is it?
130 plus tax.
Okay, so if you flip Christy a quick email saying we want that as an action item on the council meeting for next week.
I need it
Next
for
week or week?
Thursday.
What's that? Need it for Thursday, like send a quick email saying like action item, we want council for, to approve, this money for that, to buy that, then I'm thinking we're all gonna say yes.
So do I send that email or does Brandy send that email? Because I know at one point there was,
Brandy would
Sure.
send that email.
okay,
Yeah,
so I'll
Like it
email
would
Brandy.
be the letter that Brandy has been sending. So she would just amend her letter as an action and send it for action.
We do that, and then, yeah, we can definitely make sure that then you can, obviously order it at that point.
Yeah.
Council's also talked about, sorry, real quick, like council goes, obviously to help cover some of the costs. And I mean, I'll drag in Councilor Straight maybe a little bit on this one too as well, because I know we had kind of said we're going to cover the costs, obviously of the pancake breakfast, all that kind of stuff. Did you get the impression, Ian, that council would cover pretty well the whole event?
I think Councillor Carroll, that was the intent of the conversation. That was my intent anyway, or my of it.
Okay. So that was my impression. That's my impression too as well. I don't want to bring you into this, Bill, because I think that might convolute something. But yeah, I think if that's the case, then council's already approved that too as well. So as far as like going forward with the other stuff, I think we've already approved it, but the only thing we didn't really approve, part of it was the bunny suit. But that kind of clears things up. So as far as other money kind of going as we're going, I think we're on the right track. So does that make sense? Am I missing anything, Christy, do you think, or is it?
Like I think, you guys had stated about the breakfast and everything like that, but just anything else that we're adding, like the petting zoo, the photographer, those type of things where you're pulling in an outside source to the event, we need to make sure that those things are on par. Like,
So with the
everything else that
photographer, we're not paying them anything. They were like figuring, I was gonna get them to figure out all that stuff themselves. So do we still need to like?
we would still need to like have like the names that would have to be brought in, and then I from what I understand is that it would like 3 names would be brought in and then they would be picked from type thing, like 3 people that are volunteering.
Yeah,
because you also got into play with criminal background checks, and you're dealing with children. There's other factors into it, so we would need the names of the 3 people that are offering out their service. Then we would look into it.
okay.
yeah.
The person that you're thinking of, Jessica, are they a Montague resident?
I don't have anybody in particular in mind, but Katie suggested a few to me, and I think they're either Montague or Smith Falls, like they're local.
Yeah, okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to think outside the box. Like obviously it's a Montague event, but having a Montague person that's a photographer that can help us is kind of nice in that sense. And there might be a loophole there, maybe. Anyways.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
So did anybody else have anything else that we want to lock down specifically tonight,
You can
Maggie?
come up.
Do we need to get Jeff's size before we order the bunny suit since we volunteered? He wasn't at the last meeting, but we volunteered him, so.
That's right.
It might be an extra large tall, but yes, for sure.
Love it.
That other person can't jump very well.
Okay. So I guess if we could get a firster and a seconder, I think we pretty well locked it all down in case I'm missing anything. Okay, so can I get Kitty? You be my firster? Okay. Oops. See, and if I could get a seconder, please. Jessica, or is that a hi? Okay, so moved by Katie, second by Jessica, that the MRCC received the update on the event information And if everybody is in agreement with what we've discussed. Sign of hands, okay. That is carried. Okay, next.
Brandy,
What?
just, sorry, real quick, I was just gonna say, Jessica, can you just let us know, like, whenever they get back to you, if the 9th works for them too as well? Just like if you just send us all out an email saying, yeah, that works, the 9th works, because then that would kind of, with that would then confirm that the 9th, right, that the weekend before is then the day.
Yeah.
Does that make, so we get.
He
if
sometimes
Jessica-
takes several days to get back to me, but I'll get to you.
Okay,
I'm
yeah,
sure.
that's cool. And then we know that's the date, then maybe for 100%, we have that kind of a little bit more concrete too as well.
I think
Ian?
that would be perfect just to include in your letter,
Okay.
Okay.
the things you're
Okay.
asking for.
Yeah.
All right, Ian?
And just along with that, just the price, Jessica, of what the cost might be, just so we have a understanding. Please and thank you.
Anything else? No? Bill?
This is great, this is gonna be cool.
Bill?
Yeah, sorry to mention this now, but if you want me to, I could make a phone call on my own to just simply ask. I do know of a Montague seamstress who could possibly make a bunny suit for the committee. If you want me to, I could just make that call and then I would forward the answer back on to you, Brandy, if you wish me to.
Okay, so.
I would do
anybody
that right away tomorrow.
have- Okay. Is everybody in agreement to have Bill?
Okay.
Doesn't hurt to ask Bill if you could do that for us, please.
Yeah, yeah.
Sometimes having something homemade is awful, is nice. It's something, sometimes it gets.
So
extra special.
So does our bunny have a wish of what color she or whatever wants? I'm looking at the top right corner of my screen, which actually happens to be Jeffrey Carroll.
If that's where
Lots
he
of
is.
pink, lots of pink, that's for sure. It's
Pink, oh, pink.
Love it.
I will let you know tomorrow, Brandy.
Thanks, Bill. All right, so items for your consideration.
Brandy?
Yeah, sorry, Ian.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt. Just on that note, Bill, maybe you could ask for a pink and a blue jacket that go over the bunny.
Oh,
That way it could be unisex.
Oh,
Whoever's wearing it can have a blue
Okay.
coat or a pink coat.
or have it where it can flip. Katie?
Jessica, maybe you could forward a picture to Bill and Bill can forward.
I'm
that
actually
picture
looking it up
to the
right now on
ladies.
Amazon. I'm going to show you
Yeah,
guys.
that a girl. There we go.
Wi-Fi is
I
really
love
slow
how
right
all
now.
of our brains think. That's so cute.
Where
Okay,
is it?
so can we move on to the next item? I think we're good. So items for consideration. A, discussion of Ontario Festival of Small Halls. Christy.
No, the for item A is actually committee updates,
Oh,
Yeah, you missed one.
okay.
and that's still me. So we have a few updates for the committee. I'm sure you've noticed we have 2 members that aren't in attendance tonight. I received the resignation from Crystal and from Bazia, so they are no longer members of the Recreation Committee. So we will be having to put out for 2 new members shortly. So I just wanted to let you guys all know. So we are down to 8, and so our quorum is at 8 right now, or our committee is at 8. So I just need someone to move that you're receiving this update for information, and then we can move on to the next one.
Alrighty, who would like to move that we receive that information? Katie is the mover.
I'll second it.
And Jim's the second that we've received that information. And if there's anything for me to sign, Christie, over and above, I can sign that when I with these papers over and above.
Yeah, I think I sent you some resolutions there earlier, so
Okay.
I think it's in there.
Alrighty.
Here's a picture of the costume.
That's adorable.
Oh, yeah, that's cute.
I'd say that's worth $130.
Yeah.
I don't think your seamstress is gonna be able to make that for $130.
Yeah, that's pretty detailed.
There's a lot
I'm
of
not
fabric
sure.
there.
So that comes with the head and everything, Jessica?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
yeah. Just
He's a really cute bunny.
Are we gonna fill those 2 positions or just leave them open?
The direction was to advertise for 2 positions.
So if anybody's watching out there and you would like to join our lovely committee and have time to offer, we'd love to have you. It's great fun. We have a lot of laughs and it's a great team. So we'd love to have you. Get in touch with Christy at the office there and put in your resume or however that works. And we'd love to hear from you. All right, so I'm afraid to say the next one would be the discussion on the Ontario Festival of Small Hubs. Obviously, my sheet must not be revised.
This one's really quick. I just want to let council and staff know that the online application is again open. They are taking applications for it. I don't think we're good for this year, but for next year we can get our name in and hopefully.
Christy?
Application has already been submitted. We would hear back
Oh.
in March whether or not we would be eligible for this year.
Oh, good.
Nice. That's
Yay.
great news. All right, so for the next one, wait, did
I just need a mover and you need a mover and seconder for that.
Okay, so if I could get a mover and a seconder. Please, Maggie's moving it. And a seconder. Oh, Melissa.
Yeah.
So that would be the one for the MRCC received committee updates for the information.
Yeah, I received the discussion on Ontario Festival of Small Halls for information.
Gotcha. Next would be discussion on Canada Day event. And I got, oh, sorry, Christy, go ahead. And then Jeff.
I'm going to start off the discussion on the Canada Day event.
Okay.
I have a bit of bad news. The Rosedale Hall is booked for July 2nd for a wedding.
Okay.
A couple is going to be getting married there. They will, when you book a wedding, you receive the hall the day before to decorate for your wedding. And they will be going in the hall around 11 on Canada Day to decorate because they'll be getting married early afternoon at the hall. So we wish them well. That's the hall. It's great that the hall is being used for this purpose. So yeah, they have booked in, given deposit, everything. So, but we have other options for Canada Day. I did speak with both Jeff and Ian today about some other options. So I can, Jeff, I don't know, did you want to go ahead and talk about it?
Yeah, I mean, it's great that the hall's being used, and we want that, obviously. And Canada, it makes it interesting. But we obviously have a couple different options. We do have we can always approach the Forget Me Not Club across the road and see what they're available. The other option, if we need a hall or a space, depending on what we're looking to do, there's the Civitan, which is also in Montague, which we want to be supportive to as well, because Montague Hall too as well. So we do have, as much as we love our beautiful renovated hall, we do have options if we want to do things, or if we're going to do something in the other ones, and we can approach them too as well. Yeah, so I think there is. So I open up for what can we do, and still we still have options.
Well, I'd like to be the first to congratulate the couple that's renting the hall. I believe this is our first booking for a wedding.
Since it's been renovated, yeah.
So congratulations to the lovely couple for making our hall the one that you chose to have your event at. I think that's great. It just means that we just have to change our location of our plans. That's fine. But yeah, I think that's great. We wanted this hall to be renovated and to be used. And so, I mean, we're making it happen, and that's wonderful to see. We should be proud of that, guys. Katie?
I was just going to say, I totally forgot about the Civitan, and it might be a blessing in disguise, Maggie, by your lineup that we're hopeful to have. The Civitan allows for excellent parking and a huge green space out front for doing lots of stuff too. So it might actually end up being a little bit of a blessing in disguise for us. So
I think the Civitan's a great spot.
Yeah.
They have a lot more room.
Let's see if
So
we
if
can
we're
do that.
planning for the event for that day, then we will have to make sure that we get in touch with the Civitan right away to book their location. That will be our first thing. And then so I'll let you take away. You had a Canada Day draft program that you sent to me. If you want to.
Yeah, I brought it up last meeting. Didn't get any response, so I just put one together myself. That's going to run from basically 10 till 11. Barbecue, open mic afternoon, dinner possible, dance possible. And then I also sent out some information on a place that rents out games. I only gave the one because they're local and they do have good pricing. They have a lot of equipment, and I just picked ones that maybe people would be like. The slide was very popular to them. Bouncy castles are kind of going down. The dunk tank is really good for me. And the Civitan would be able to do this. Does anybody think this is too ambitious?
No.
No. Okay, so Jessica first and then Ian.
I'm kind of nay on the bouncy castle just because if we're still worried about physical distancing, then they'd be like really close together. But with the slide, they can go one at a time or side by side.
Ian?
It just might cause a lot of problems with lineups if only like a certain amount of kids can go in at once. And so, yeah.
Yeah, kind of like what Councillor Carroll already said. This is it could be a we still want this to happen. It's a kick in the butt a little bit that it can't be at our own little hall, but we can make it work at the Civitan for sure, 100%. And I think that we need to make sure that somebody reaches out to them immediately to kind of irritate that date for us. And the proximity to town is going to give us a lot of exposure that hopefully will carry on years to come as we continue to let this grow. And no, I do not think that this is too ambitious. There's lots of people. We have a great committee. We have lots of help. We have lots of friends. Each one of us do. They can come out and help, and we can make sure that we get this done. And let's make sure we do this on a extremely high note, and let's make sure it's successful. And people will remember it, and they will come back next year.
Well said, Ian.
And having it at the Civitan Club for the people that were talking about fireworks, you could probably see Smith Falls from the Civitan Club.
Oh, we can.
We don't want fireworks. So yeah, barbecue 10 to 1, and we can recoup quite a bit of money if we put our minds to it on this. If we do a minimal charge for the barbecue for hot dogs, hamburgers, the dinner charge can be $15 a person, $25 a couple. Maybe the caterers that the township has used, the council has used in the past for the appreciation dinners, that they were well liked, not the band, but the caterers. The We can charge for the games, especially the dunk tank, $2 a ball, 3 for $5. Or as Ian suggested last time, a donation jar was also a good one. We could set some tickets on for a door prize. I don't know if we can do like 50-50 because again, that comes into that lottery thing. And something that we've asked for a long time, promotional items, t-shirts, baseball caps, water bottles. They're really cheap when you buy a lot of them, and they're a good moneymaker. So if we could get some with Montague, our brand on them, we could sell a bunch of those.
So Christy and then Ian.
A lot of these items need to be definitely approved at council. There is a lot of, I hate to say red tape, but there's a lot of these things that as a committee of council, you are not eligible to do, as you are not an organization of your own making. That being said, there are other ways that we can look at doing these things, but they do have to come from the township staff, especially when we talk about branded items. You know, Montague rebranded and has a very specific requirements for the branding that have to be met and they can't be replicated. But we can look into those. But a lot of these items, because you're a committee of council and not your own nonprofit organization, there is a bit of red tape in what you're allowed to charge for an event. Like for example, the fire association is their own association, so they were allowed to charge for the pit barbecue. But because you're a committee of council, you can't exactly bring in your own revenue, right? This is going to be a treasury question about how you would proceed with these things. But these are all great discussions. I can volunteer to call the Civitan tomorrow and get that in motion. But we do have to be clear on how we do this because, like I said, when I spoke to Jasmine about lottery license and that, it's that you're not eligible for these items because the township can't issue their own lottery license to themselves. So that's where you run into where you can't run an event where someone's going to receive a prize, like a cash monetary prize. So there's just a bit more red tape behind the scenes. Like, these ideas are fantastic. And I think it is a great idea to have a Canada Day event. And I like that it was received so well that the hall was booked because I was very anxious about it. But I'm glad that the Civitan would be a really good option in providing, you know, that other, you know, recognition of other buildings in the township, you know. But definitely all these items that you want to bring forward will have to come back and be presented same way in the letter, but definitely we have to go through the appropriate branding for items, promotional items and stuff like that, and how that would work about giving out door prizes. And like, you can't do 50-50, like those type of things just are not, like, that's not really allowed. So we'll have to figure that out. Like, there's lots of things we'll have to figure it out, but I think you guys are on the right track to getting an event going.
And that's why all of these were just suggestions.
And next time, can we have them for the agenda so that I can attach them?
I
so
did send them out.
I didn't receive anything.
Bill had a hard time getting them too. I don't know why.
The only thing that I received from you was the agenda that you guys had and the minutes from Val. I didn't receive any other.
This was sent out on Monday because I didn't get the information till Monday.
Yeah,
So this was only,
anyway, the agenda was done for Friday. So going forward, can we get the items so that, because I know the public that's watching doesn't have them as well. So we would want to
make sure they're included.
Yeah, just make sure that the people who are watching our meetings can see the items that we're discussing and talking about. And I didn't put on my CD Saturday thing, but I also forgot to do it myself. We're all working together. Let's just make sure that everyone has it.
Yeah, I don't know why Bill had a problem with it too, but some people did have problems opening it. And I didn't put pictures out because we hadn't decided what I don't want to get every item that I sent out. I think I send out 3 slides and bouncy castles and this sort of stuff. I don't want all those, just one of each maybe. I do want the dunk tank, but the field ones and the inside ones, there's lots to choose from. I just didn't know which ones to choose from.
There's,
Oops. Ian?
yeah, let's put the list together. We'll come up with a way to tackle the items that we want to do. And let's remember too that we're sitting on the Civitan, we're sitting in the Civitan on their property, and they're a great partner that has the availability to put forth a dinner. They can do the catering themselves. They put together the emergency services dinner for all of Lanark County. That gets invited, and they cater on their own. And if we need to, if we want to get 3 balls for $5, it's something that the Civitan people can easily do. They have the ability to do that if we can't. So I'm sure they could make a donation or whatever it might be at the end of the day. So we can investigate all those scenarios. And then we can go from there. But let's put a list together as kind of what Chrissy said, and maybe at the next meeting we can kind of pencil these things all out, or everybody can send them all in so they're on the agenda, and we can discuss them. And then we can figure out what we can, what we can't do, and go forward from there.
Bill?
Yeah, thanks. I'm not at all opposed to anything that anybody's talking about in the Civitan. I just wanted to make a comment though, that in case the Civitan has already planned something for that weekend, I'm just going to throw out 2 other suggestions that might be options. The first is probably not the best option, but we still could have used our hall on the Sunday of Canada Day weekend. I know that it presents a bit of a problem because you got a wedding the night before, but it still could be overcome if you wanted to scale it back, if that's what we had to do. And the other option I wanted to throw out was, again, if something happens that we can't use the Civitan, we have our own property where our offices are and our public works are. And we already know that the fire department has put on for years and years and years, very successful events as called Rural Ramble, where many people come, and we've got all kinds of space there. And we have, I'm not sure what the situation would be at the time with the salt shed, but I don't imagine there's too much salt in the shed in July. But I'm just throwing that out as another option. And, there will be a cost to rent the Civitan, but there obviously would be no cost if we were using our own property. I just wanted to throw those out as 2 other options.
Thanks, Bill.
Yeah, that's actually a great idea. Those are both great ideas, Bill.
Yes, and I believe Bill Barber with the fire department might be able to do 3, because you guys have the lottery license or something, don't you, Ian?
What's that? Sorry,
Fire
Brandon?
department for like Bill Barber, does he not have like the way to get what is that for the license to do door prizes and stuff?
I think because the fire, I'm not 100% sure, but and speak out of turn for that's for sure. But I think because it's association that there's it's a lot to be done. So they have the proper permitting, paperwork behind it to allow it to occur.
Yeah. Christy?
Yeah, it'd be because the fire association is it's in a separate thing. They would be able to apply for a lottery license, as well as the Civitan is able to apply for a lottery license because they're their own organization.
Yeah.
And they apply to the township for lottery license like that. So
either one would work out. Maggie?
If the Civitan is not available, we could also change it to more like a picnic at the township offices. Forget the dinner stuff, forget the open mic, but still maybe bring in a couple more bouncy items and have a barbecue Could we have a beer tent? How, like, who gets that? Or I know they've had it for the Rumble. Is that the fire department that puts together the beer tent?
I think so.
You got to keep the adults happy.
Yeah, I think it's definitely the fire association that would have to do the liquor licensing part, if that were allowed. I don't know what their stipulations are.
Is there going to be a rural ramble this year, Ian, do you know?
Not that I'm personally aware of, Bill, but you may have to send, I would suggest sending Bill or Bill Barber an official letter just asking that, but to the best of my knowledge, there's no rural ramble.
Anybody else have anything that they, Christy?
Just the one issue with the township office property is that we would have to have the section in front of the fire hall, that parking lot. There would have to be dividers off there, and everything would have to be done in front of Public Works and over in case of fire calls. We need the firemen to be able to access the parking lot, and they do come in quite quickly sometimes and then leave. So that's the one thing we have to consider about if we do decide to proceed that way, is ensuring that, like, you recognize that the space would be from the edge of the lawn over.
I still like the Civitan option personally. I think it's good to support another hall that's in our township. You know, especially with ours being used, which is awesome. I think that for them, if we can nail that and book it, it's good for them, for business as well. That's my personal opinion.
Melissa's got her hand up.
Melissa?
I think we've had kind of lots of discussions, but either way we look at it, we're going to have to, more than likely, we're going to have to partner with either the Civitan or the fire department. And I think that which one we either need to pick a location. Like if we're going to the Civitan, we're going to need to partner with the Civitan and possibly be able to bring the fire association into it, maybe for an outdoor barbecue, if that's okay with the Civitan. But if we go to the hall, then we need to partner with the fire association. So I think that partnership of who we want to partner with also needs to play into our decision making.
So I guess until we know whether we can book, so we kind of need to tentatively decide tonight. We're going to try and book for the Civitan first. Is that our first option? If everybody's in agreement. Maggie?
We still have lots of time. I think we should wait and see if the Civitan is available and then go from there, because the program is going to be very different depending on where we go if we're not going to Rosedale. I don't want to wait too long if we're going to book, but we can't book. I mean, through that run amok place. I don't know if it has to be tendered or something. I just picked them because they are the closest to us. And I like their policies. They deliver, they set up, they send somebody to run everything. They cover they carry the insurance. But I'm sure there's other places that rent out these things. So I think it's all going to depend on where we go.
So Melissa and Ian.
Or two things. One, to Maggie's, we'll need a second quote anyways to be submitted. So we'll have to get a quote from somewhere else. And the second one is, if we give direction tonight to try and seek out the Civitan, should we also give direction if the Civitan's not available to go ahead and seek out a partnership with the fire department? So that way we're not coming back in a month's time going, okay, the Civitan's booked, so now we'll start trying to find a fire department. I think we need to put that contingency into our action item tonight, so that way that can be set up before our March meeting.
Well planned. Ian?
Yeah, kind of going along with what Melissa just said, I wouldn't want to prolong this at all very much. If the Civitan's available and that's what we decide tonight, then I think that we really need to kind of speak for it, because and who we partner up with after that point, If we get the civic dam, we get the use of the building, the property anyway, so that's there's bonuses there, and we can go ahead. But we gotta remember, we're coming into 2 years of COVID, people haven't been married, and we're talking about a long weekend, and these dates are gonna fill up extremely quick, if it's not already full already.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
That'll be the first thing to get done immediately. And I do like Melissa's contingency plan of if it's not available, making that second call. Is everybody in agreement so that we can advise her to do so?
Yep.
So if I could get a firster. Firster, anyone? Oh, sorry, Melissa. Okay, and a seconder?
I'll second it.
Okay, Jim? Okay, firsted by Melissa, second by Jim, that the MRCC receive the candidate event report for the information and to send it to council as discussed. Everybody was in agreement.
Yep.
So do I need to do a separate sheet for your advisement, Christy, or is the one that you had ready for me good enough?
I think what you would like to have happen, you should again put it in another form to go to council. Like if you're wanting to push them forward faster, right?
So if
You know, you can kind of do like a letter recap saying, these are the items that we want to push forward to action and have council make a decision on them. And then you can like do, you know, for Easter this, for Canada Day this.
So if I could maybe get Maggie or Val to give me a letter at some point and I'll sign those and send it in when I drop off this other paperwork immediately. That would be wonderful. All right.
So who's gonna contact the Civitan tomorrow?
What's that, hun?
Who's gonna contact the Civitan tomorrow?
Christy's going to call.
Christy is.
Yeah.
Just a quick reminder of the dunk tank, everybody. Just don't forget the dunk tank. Okay, just don't forget the dunk tank. Sorry, little hypnotization thing there. I had to. All right, so next, I guess, moving on to the next would be the discussion of signage for Rosedale Hall. Don't know who had that one.
This was Val's.
Oh, Val.
This was just kind of an afterthought. The day that I was at the Rosedale Hall decorating the Christmas tree, I happened to realize that there was quite a bit of traffic up and down Rosedale. I was never aware of it. And it just brought me to think, we have no way of advertising any events for the hall other than Christy putting it on the social media, et cetera, et cetera. So my question was, is there any way possible that we could discuss the possibility of getting one of those signboards, sort of like similar to what the Forget-Me-Nots have across their way? Just up for discussion, you know.
Christy?
So if you're thinking along the lines of the electronic sign at the office, that would be probably a major no. That sign can only be run by my computer, and I have to be within so many feet of it in order to change it. So you would be looking at other signs, but one of the major issues you're going to come into play is Lanark County has a very strict sign policy. So we would have to look into their sign policy to see how I almost think their signs have to be 30 feet from the road now. I know our municipal Rosedale sign was grandfathered in because it was there prior to their new sign policy going into place, but it would just be something you would have to look into the Lanark County sign policy because it is a county road. See what their policy says with relation to what they allow on their roads, because they have very strict rules for like election signs, and they want very minimal signs on their roads.
Maggie?
Would the seniors club sign, would that be grandfathered in then? Or
It
because
might
it's-
have because it was already there.
Val?
So Christy, I have a question for you. Who would pursue this with Lanark County? You, me, who?
Well, we can just go on their website and look up their sign policy.
Oh, okay. I can do that too. So, okay.
Yeah, we just can look up the sign policy, see what it says, and then it would be up to Lanark County Public Works. Well, and council, like it would be up to council to decide if they want to proceed with signs on the property. And then we would have
Okay.
to abide by Lanark County Public Works.
Yeah, okay. No, it was just a passing thought about signage. So, yeah. Okay, thank you.
So basically, if we get a firster and a seconder, we can send this to council and they can make a decision from there if they want to do additional signage and check it out.
First,
Bill had his hand up too.
Sorry, Bill, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to point out that I do remember a few years ago, a discussion taking place at county council regarding a similar situation. And they were talking about putting up signs at another hall. And it was a fairly, I'll say, vulnerable, dangerous corner. And it was decided against it because the more signs you have like that on a dangerous corner is, it's a bit of a problem. And, I still think that corner, our corner, is probably one of the more dangerous corners. It's, you've got the hill, you've got the curve, you've got the roads, the intersection, the seniors, our hall. It's pretty complicated corner. And to put up a sign where you're actually wanting people to slow down and read the sign and the details. I'm just pointing it out that that was something that had come up a long time ago, and I remember that.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, really good point.
Is there, like, what about on the building itself? I'm trying to think, like, just before the doors underneath the awning when you're walking up to there, is there an area there where you could put like a clear information board so that if people pulled up, they could kind of look to see what is in the plan for that month?
That would be a good idea.
What's right there? Like, I'm trying to, not able to.
Is there already a board there of some sort, like a small one? Or is that inside the door?
Inside.
Inside.
Anyway,
That's a good idea.
It's just an idea, like if you can't have it on the road, it doesn't hurt for somebody to pull in just to see, like check what's going on or what's in the plan for the month. You know what I mean? They can photograph it, or if we can up to date it maybe by, half of it first month and second month so that they can kind of check on it. And then, whatever is on that board would obviously go to Christy for her advertisement on her screen, whatever, right? Like, just an idea.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
And I'm not, just to be clear, I'm only pointing out a discussion that took place years ago at another situation in Lanark County. So I'm not speaking for our council. If it's going to come to our council, then obviously our council will make a decision. So I'm just trying to give you some information that happened one time before. So it's not my decision by any chance, by any means at all. It's council's decision.
Yep, got it, Bill.
Guess from here, then, if I could get a firster and a seconder, and then we can, the MRCC received the discussion on the signage for Rosedale Hall and send it to council and see what we can maybe have happen at the hall. Does that work, Chrissy? Okay, so if I could get a firster, please. A mover?
First. Yeah.
Okay, Val is to move it, and a seconder. Maggie, okay.
Who?
What's that?
Who was second?
Yeah, Maggie. Okay, so moved by Val, second by Maggie, that the MRCC receive the discussion on the signage for Rosedale Hall for information and are sending more for the council to discuss. All in agreement? Okay. Okay. Guess from here would be any unfinished business or any other business. And I know Karen had mentioned about the thing before she went off the camera. Does anybody have anything else that they would like to bring up at this point? No. So we did have that discussion a bit when Karen was on here. Do we need to go back over that?
No, that was in the business arising.
Okay. Alrighty, so if nobody else has any other unfinished business, then I can get a firster and a seconder that the Recreation Committee confirm all of our direction. So does anybody have anything else to bring up? No?
Nope.
All right, so Jim, do you want to move it?
Sure.
Alrighty, Jim's moving it, and if I could get a second, please. Anyone? Second? Okay, Melissa? So moved by Jim, second by Melissa, that the Recreation Committee confirm all of the direction as agreed at the meeting of February 22nd, 2022, and forward that direction to council for final approval. All carried? Everybody in agreement?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, carried. Next meeting will be, Maggie, do you got your calendar handy?
22nd of March.
22nd of March, 7 p.m. And if I could get a mover and a seconder, that we will adjourn at, what time is it? 8:40. Wow, I can get a mover. Okay, so Jessica is moving it and a seconder, Melissa. So moved by Jessica, second by Melissa, February 22nd, 2022, that this meeting does now adjourn at 8:40 p.m. until March 22nd, 2022 at 7 p.m. All carried? Awesome.
Bye, everybody.
Have a great evening. Thanks for this lovely meeting, guys. It was awesome.